The second thing is that you want to make sure that the quality of your sleep is good. Really, that's number one in steps you want to make in your lifestyle, because in your sleep, you are going to refresh, you're going to rejuvenate, you're going to replenish. It processes your thoughts, your traumas, all of that in your sleep. And that is going to help you have better mental health.
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities. Thank you for tuning in to Hacks and Hobbies with your host, Junaid. We're visited by our amazing guests coming from all walks of life. We want to learn their story, their struggles, and their journey on how they got to where they are today. So stick around.
In this episode, we have a remarkable journey to share with you. Our guest, Dr. Tiffany, will take us through her incredible transformational experience using aromatherapy and integrative medicine to improve her husband's quality of life and her own. Stay tuned as we rediscover the power of holistic healing and uncover the essence of her journey. But before we dive in, remember to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode packed with insights to unlock your best health. Let's get started.
Dr. Tiffany, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for coming on the podcast.
I am doing fantastic, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely, absolutely. So what I love to do in the beginning of the episode is I love to walk through memory lane to rediscover your origin story. And I've learned about you over the past few months since we got introduced, but I'm sure the audience haven't heard about who you are and where you come from. Let's jump right into that journey, because I know that journey is long, it's prosperous, it takes us through so many different things. And I'm sure there was a gear in there that you needed when you started that brought out your essence. And that is the gear that you'll still need sometimes, or you absolutely don't. So let's jump right in and begin at the beginning.
All right. What got me here today was my husband. My husband is a combat veteran,
Mm.
and over time, he started to have more and more pain. His pain was just increasing to the point where he was almost bedbound. He's no longer engaging in family activities. We're not going to the grocery store, and in constant pain. And we're leaning into the healthcare system to find resolution, to deal with it, to improve our quality of life. But what we were finding was that our quality of life wasn't improving, and the options were invasive. So my husband said, forget it. I don't want anything else. But some of the symptoms he was having was the pain, but also with pain comes depression and anxiety because you
Mhm.
can't live your life the way you want to,
Yeah.
some PTSD exacerbation, sleep disturbances. So it's a compound of symptoms that we were dealing with that the pain just exacerbated.
Mm.
So when he said nothing, no more healthcare, we got to do something different, it put us in a little bit of a conundrum like, okay, what are we going to do? We're both trained in this healthcare system, and it's supposed to be here for us when we need it. We're not increasing our quality of life. So where do we go? So we had to be open just to the universe and what comes to us and do research. And we found aromatherapy first.
Mm.
And aromatherapy was introduced to me from an MLM company, multi-level marketing. I said it. And I'm asking questions. How does this work? What's the contraindications? How much do I need to use? And no one had answers. So I went back to school and I got a degree in aromatherapy. And in that time, I'm doing different blends on him
Mm,
and I'm noticing responses. So he started to get up. He started to get out the bed. He started to re-engage
mhm.
in his life and in the family. Okay, he's up now. How do we make sure you don't go back down? So now we're looking at lifestyle, how we're living, what we have control over that we can do.
Mm,
And then that opened me up as a professional into functional medicine and lifestyle medicine. And that's where you're treating the root cause and you're looking at your life and how you're living and the things you can do to improve the quality of your life.
yes.
And I have to tell you, this guy right now, you can't sit him down. He is like right now, he is out in this 115-degree weather, re remodeling our ranch. So
Mm,
he doesn't stop. When he was once bedbound and couldn't get out the bed. So I noticed that the things that I did with him, I also noticed the same thing in my patients, and I was still treating traditionally at that time.
mm,
And so I said, I need to create a practice where I'm incorporating lifestyle medicine, functional medicine, and the aromatherapy is a complementary alternative modality.
mhm.
And the adding that in is called integrative. So aromatherapy was my jam,
Yeah.
but it opens up the window for you to bring whatever is your jam into your treatment plan. And
Mm.
that's how Aroma Functional Nutrition Psychiatry was founded. And it was named after the modalities that helped him and us improve our quality of life together.
Wow, that's so much to unpack in there because I've had a little bit of experience with aromatherapy, only like fraction of it because my wife is the one who's the researcher here in the family, and she's discovered aromatherapy, she's discovered functional medicine, and she's okay, we should be doing this, we should be doing this. But what's interesting is that we haven't gone 100% like implementation wise. We haven't implemented all of it. But that's really good to know that somebody who's bedbound, your husband, he's now up and about, working outside in that 110-degree temperature, revamping your ranch house.
Mhm,
What's awesome to see is that these are the transformations people look for, right? When you see
mhm,
something in your eyes, I'm like, oh my God, this really worked. Because at the forefront of it, you don't believe it because you've
right.
never seen it yourself. But unless you see it yourself, that transformation. And for example, one of my favorite examples is gardening. You're not going
Mhm.
to have a garden until you actually plant one. You can do research all day long, but until you sow that seed, you're not going to be able to figure out what's the next step to make the changes and whatnot.
My husband actually was in that position. He could
Mhm.
not believe that rubbing an oil would do better than a Percocet
Yeah.
or
Mhm.
something like that. That's what we're taught is this is what you take to get relief.
Mhm.
He was blown away. But he set the criteria. He didn't want anything invasive. He didn't want a pill. And so he set the criteria and I was able to help meet his criteria. But he is still totally today shocked and is a huge advocate of aromatherapy.
That's such an amazing case study as well. Wow. All right. So that's how you got started and on the journey that you are currently. But
Mhm.
before this, before you became a doctor, there must have been something that got you to say, hey, I want to be a doctor or I want
Yeah.
to step into this space. Walk us through a little bit of that.
Oh, it goes back to nursing school, back to
Mhm.
1996, 93 to 96,
Mhm.
when I was in nursing school in St. Louis, Missouri, and I did my psych rotation. And it was an inpatient psych unit. And it was very heavily psychosis that these people had and these behaviors. And I'm like, and what you learned then was how you have the role, not the rolling, but revolving door in psychiatry. And I'm like, why? What is going on in their brain? I want to know what is happening because it doesn't have to be a revolving door. What are we missing in healthcare? So after nursing school, though, I got into medical surgical nursing, worked in all areas of nursing. And I was working as needed, a per diem nurse, and I worked in a geri psych crisis stabilization unit. And then it all came back to me, that desire to learn more about the brain and psychosis and mental health
Mm-hmm.
care. And the nurse that also worked with me, we both had that same idea. So when the patients were calm, we're Googling psychiatric nurse practitioner schools. And so we both applied and got into psychiatric nurse practitioner school at that time. And we went through that school. And then after I finished that school, I was in aromatherapy school already.
Mm-hmm.
And then I went into nurse practitioner school, overlapped them a little bit in two schools at one
Yeah.
time. Then I finished that and jumped into the doctorate program and then finished it. Because I'm like, if I'm going to do it, let's get it all done. And we went in and got it done. And so I'm so thankful and have the answers and the understanding of what's going on in the body through the functional medicine training,
Mm-hmm.
through the lifestyle medicine training. And it is so incredible, our bodies, and how we can really, your body is awesome and it can take care of itself, but now I understand the how and how I can help other people
Mm.
maximize and leverage their bodies and not have
Well,
to take pills.
amen to that. I'm a big believer of not taking the pills as well. And I've taken some supplements and sometimes I even leave those off. I'm wrong. Maybe I should continue to take those supplements because I am deficient on vitamin D and some other
Mm-hmm.
things. And that's normal for somebody of my skin type.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and saw a functional medicine doctor. In fact, my chiropractor is a
Mm-hmm.
functional medicine. And he's, hey, these are some of the things. This is why you're having pain in your joints and in your back and
Right.
your shoulders and your neck, because there's a ton of inflammation and you need to deal with it at the root cause and not try to
Right.
apply just an ice pack on top of it, because that's
That's right.
a topical. It's a temporary relief
Yes,
situation.
exactly. Exactly.
So tell us, as you became more and more involved in finding the solution, because obviously the doctors didn't help.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, all
Mm-hmm.
of those pill taking was not helping because they're
Masking the
not,
symptoms.
yes, they're masking the symptoms. They're not going through a holistic approach. They don't know all the
Right.
other things that are happening. They're just like, oh,
Right.
here's this problem. We'll just kill it right here.
Exactly.
But it's going to keep arising because it's
Correct.
connected to other connections.
Correct. You said it all. Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's beautiful. You've been pretty curious through this entire process and taking that curiosity to the next level and actually implementing and finding solutions. So kudos to you.
Thank you.
So tell me, who was the first person that you saw using this methodology, for example, aromatherapy and functional medicine, that inspired you to take that path?
I didn't see anybody using
Okay.
aromatherapy. It's one of those intuitive things. So I
Mm,
use intuition as my guide. And my husband and I went through this craft show, and the lady was at the table with her oils and stuff. And
mhm.
it clicked
Yeah.
with, oh, hold on, I need to dig a little bit deeper into this.
Mm,
And the more I dug into it, I'm like, this is a solution. This can really work for us. And I went in 100% and did the aromatherapy. I had never experienced a functional medicine doctor or lifestyle medicine. I've never experienced any of that. All I know was our traditional Western healthcare system.
right.
And I had never, my husband nor I have ever really engaged in the healthcare system. Our whole family is healthy. They live to 100. So
Wow.
so now you use your healthcare system when something's wrong, when things are acute. That's how we're trained. We're having a problem here and didn't get that resolution. So I didn't have examples. I had to really be open to the universe and put out what I
Yeah.
needed and wanted and be open to receive. And like I said, I went to a craft show at the library and there was aromatherapy. I was probably Googling some of the ways and how to manage my husband, and
Mhm.
that's where I came up with functional medicine and lifestyle medicine and
Nice.
functional nutrition. So I hadn't seen any example of this before.
So that little interaction with something that somebody else shared at the
Mhm.
craft show, it sparked like, oh my God, that's something. And that's really similar to when I took my son for an allergist appointment
Mm,
8 years ago when he was 2 years old. And
okay.
he mentioned about, oh, you should look into local honey. It's really good for seasonal allergies too. 8 years later, I'm a beekeeper because of that one thing that he
Yep.
mentioned. Right? I just kept stacking in my brain all the different things that I kept experiencing. That's
Yes.
really so cool. And I think there's a lesson in there is that you need to
Mhm.
go into our curiosity. We need to really
Yes.
find people, find solutions. And the beautiful thing is we're living in an era that literally every question has already been answered one way or another.
Mhm. The challenge we have today is that we're distracted. You can't
Amen.
stay focused. It's so
Hmm.
much coming at you. It's
Yes.
hard to hear your intuition. It's hard to
Mm,
hear that quiet voice telling you, go this way, or you wouldn't have been able to hear the doctor say, get local honey. I wouldn't have been able to, could have been like, I'm ready to go and not go to the craft fair.
yeah.
And it's about being able to calm down and slow down so you can hear, so you
Mm,
can really and this is one of my tips actually, is to slow down and really be able to hear your inner voice. And what is it your body's telling you?
mm,
What is it that your environment is telling you? And that is what you have to lead with. Because yes, there's so many answers out there, so many ways to address our everything.
yes.
And that's why I love integrative medicine, because we're going to integrate the things you found that worked for
Mm,
you. And then I'm going to give you some suggestions so you can continue your journey to find what works for you. There is no one size fit all.
mm-mm.
No, it's all about that individuality and what works
Yeah.
best for you.
I love that so much. Thank you so much. And that reminds me of a comment in one of the meetings that I was mastermind that I was in. They're like, yes, we can continue to listen to podcasts when we're on a run, when we should just not listen to anything at all and just listen to our body because you're on this run, you're in this meditative state. And I shared that every day in the morning when I drop my daughter off, I'll go garden and
Hmm.
I don't have any external noises coming in, and all the answers are coming from the inside out
Yeah.
because there's so much our brains are capable of. This entire
Yes.
world that we're living in is only possible if because of the big thinkers. They
Hmm.
took time, they thought, and brought these things forward.
Yes. Yes. So the
All right.
question to your audience
Yeah.
is, how are you taking that time for yourself to tune into you?
Mm,
Get the answers that you need, find the solutions, or know what you need to fix and repair. How are you doing that for yourself? And then turn it up, do more of it, especially when you're having stressors, when things aren't going right. You
mm.
turn up those things that bring you peace and joy so that you can stay calm and you can receive the messages you need to move forward in life successfully.
I love that question, Dr. Tiffany. So, guys, hold on to those answers. Keep thinking on what you're doing, and please feel free to share it with us on social when you listen to this episode and you have an answer to that question. And in the meantime, we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, we'll have 3 hacks to share from Dr. Tiffany. We'll be right back.
Okay.
Welcome back to the episode. We've been talking with Dr. Tiffany Smith, and
I'm Junaid Ahmed, host of Hacks and Hobbies podcast and a digital presence advisor at HumbleZone. This episode is brought to you by Home Studio Mastery. I launched a consultation and course program to help podcasters and course creators to create a space in their homes that'll reduce the friction of creating content and appearing their best when showing up on camera. The pandemic gave us a lot of issues, but this one is here to stay. We're now so much closer to our audience thanks to video becoming more popular and affordable. I help guide folks who want to create Hollywood-worthy studios to not only capture great content, but also build more confidence, more authority, and be more comfortable in front of the camera. If I can do it, you can too. And with my help, you can do it faster. So if you'd like to learn more, visit homestudiomastery.com and how you too can create a home studio that brings out your personality, professionalism, and possibilities.
We've gone through functional medicine, aromatherapy, and all the things that are really good for your body, because our bodies, mind you, have, like, our brain has the capacity of creating any chemicals known to man to heal itself. It is the power of the mind. So, Dr. Tiffany, go ahead with the 3 hacks you have for us.
All right. So we touched on a hack as far as really taking time to listen to yourself. The other thing is track yourself. You need to know who you are and how you behave. So, for example, wearing a Fitbit, knowing what your resting heart rate is, how long you sleep on average, the quality of your sleep. How do certain foods make you feel? Do you eat something and then your blood sugar drops quickly? Do you eat some foods and they satiate you a long time? Where are you at with how you respond to the world around you? And then if something happens, then you can present to your doctor facts. You can state this is my usual heart rate, resting heart rate, and now it's up to 80. I usually sleep 6 hours, and now I'm sleeping 4, and I don't feel refreshed. So tracking yourself and learning about yourself. The second thing is that you want to make sure that the quality of your sleep is good. Really, that's number one in steps you want to make in your lifestyle, because in your sleep, you are going to refresh, you're going to rejuvenate, you're going to replenish. It processes your thoughts, your traumas, all of that in your sleep. And that is going to help you have better mental health. Is sleep number one. The second thing is going to be, what are you putting in your body? And I'm saying second and all that, I'm like on number 4 out of all the hacks. But under the lifestyle and sleep is next would be nutrition. And just paying attention to, are you putting junk in your body? What are you, do you have nutrient dense foods? The more nutrient dense foods you have, the more your body's going to receive to heal. So one way you can do that is eat the rainbow. Making sure you're eating all the different colors of the rainbow is going to assure that you're getting a variety of different nutrients from those foods. And that's one way you can start as an easy way. The second thing would just increase those not vitamins, but veggies, because your cruciferous vegetables are detoxifying and our world is very toxic. And so you want to eat the broccoli, eat the Brussels sprouts and green leafy veggies for sure. You increase those, your body's going to start to detox. You'll lose weight. You'll look good. You'll feel good. So I think that's enough. And listen to yourself, track yourself, and then sleep and eat.
I love it. Amazing hacks. Those are amazing hacks, Dr. Tiffany Smith. And I absolutely love it. I'm a huge proponent of eating veggies because they are the food that all the animals eat that we then want to go and eat, like a burger or some chicken. They're eating the same vegetables that we should be eating.
That makes them more nutritious to us.
Exactly.
Versus eating grains.
Yep. I love that. All right. Now let's jump into the rapid fire questions. These are fun ones. And I love these questions because they bring out a side of us that we sometimes don't share openly all the time. Right, the first question: what is the one hobby that you wish you got into?
Woodworking. I want to make furniture. I love to build. I love to get furniture and build it and follow the instructions. But I like good quality furniture, and it's hard to find good quality furniture, real wood furniture.
Yes.
I want to do more woodworking and build. out, and that's going to be one of the things on my to-do list that I'll get to,
I love it.
is woodworking. Yep.
That's one of my passions too, to use my hands and build things out. And I've done all sorts of woodworking, especially when I was building my beehives. And then
Uh-huh.
I also got into building things with PVC pipes. So anytime that I
Mm.
get to build, it's a lot of fun doing that. I'm actually on a small project of building a little car out of PVC pipes. And so I'm looking for all the
Ooh.
different pieces to put it together. It's going to be fun,
Okay.
especially for my 1-year-old, right? So he's going to get to
Oh
play
gosh.
with it.
Okay.
Nice. All right, next question. What did you want to be when you were a child?
I can't think of anything I wanted to be
Hmm.
in particular, but I knew that I was smart. So I wasn't like, oh, I want to be a doctor, or I want to be a lawyer, or I want to be this or that, a teacher, or anything. But I knew that I was smart, and I hung with the smart group through
Hmm.
school.
Yeah.
And what was honed in at that time was the math and science people went to engineering.
Hmm.
So I went to engineering camp, was going to go to engineering school and be an electrical engineer.
Hmm.
But my grandfather had a stroke right at the time when I was graduating high school.
Yeah.
And that's when I was introduced to the healthcare world. And I saw the impact that they made on our family and how important that was. And I said, okay, I'm going into healthcare. I'm going to
Yeah.
go and be a nurse. And that's what I need to do. And
Hmm.
here I am today.
See, that's what I love about the environment that we grow in. Eventually not just decide, but shows us the path of where we're supposed to be going. It's really cool.
Hmm.
Next up, what is your favorite movie or TV show? And if none, how about a book?
Okay, I know that I recently saw a movie and said that is my new favorite movie, but I can't remember what it was. But it's something that came out like within this last year or so
Okay.
on television, not in the movie theaters, but something
Hmm.
on TV. But in general, I love to watch AGT, America's Got Talent, American Ninja Warrior, Tough as Nails. I love to see shows where people are pushing through their barriers
Mm.
and reaching for their full potential. It's so emotional. I get so tearful because I relate to that. And I feel like I am a catalyst, a mechanism that can be used to help people reach that goal. And
I love
so
that.
I feel blessed that I do what I do because I help get people back to where they want to be in their lives so that they can be on those type of shows. It's just like those shows. Here I
Yeah.
am, I worked through this, and
Right.
now I'm here to present myself to the world.
I love that.
Yeah.
So the next question is going to be really interesting. What movie would you choose if you got to play a character in it?
Uh, what movie would I choose if I got to play a character in it? I would be a superhero.
Hmm.
And what would I do? I'm not sure. What? Let me think. That's a good one.
You like to help
Superhero.
people and you
Hmm.
like to help people and make sure that they heal.
I might do something funny.
Mm.
So it would be something entertaining. I love to smile and laugh and have fun.
Mhm.
I think that's your best medicine. Maybe I'd be a Patch Adams type of movie
There you
or
go.
something. Yeah, because I love that. Having fun and enjoying ourselves.
I love
Girls
that.
trip could
Go.
be something like that.
Awesome. Next question. The reason I have the superhero question is because I'm a huge nerd and a huge fan. So who is your superhero? Who's your
My
favorite superhero?
husband. I said my husband. But you're
I
asking
love it.
about TV, right?
Yeah.
My favorite superhero. Let's see. Supergirl comes to mind,
Hmm.
but I haven't really watched her in a while.
There's also Wonder Woman and Ms. Marvel,
Hmm.
who've been doing some amazing things.
Wonder Woman. No. Gosh, that's a good one. I am really going to have to ponder that. But I could tell you, I would want the character to be someone that is very feminine and very
Mhm.
sexy. The Black Widow. comes to mind, and someone that does some stuff that is like, whoa, how'd she do that? I love the fearlessness
Mm.
in a
In the
woman.
past, what's amazing is that in the past few years, we've introduced a lot of new women superhero. And if you
Mm-hmm.
see Wakanda Forever or any of the
Mm-hmm.
Wakanda movies, there's superheroes there. So I'm sure
Yes.
there's a ton to pick from.
Yes. And there is one with, oh goodness, I can't think of her name, but she was on How to Commit Murder or something like that.
Mm.
And Viola was her first
Okay.
name. And
Okay.
she's in a movie that I have not had a chance to watch yet. But I do love and want to learn more about the African women tribes.
Mm.
Uh, that is probably where I would go in terms of a superhero for sure.
I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. There's so much to unpack there, and we'll come back to you and ask you again who's your superhero so that we
Okay.
can put it. Awesome.
Okay.
Last question. If you were a board game, what would it be?
If I was a board game, these questions are crazy. If I was a
Thanks.
board game, what would I be? Okay, I'm thinking Monopoly,
Mm.
Scrabble. I love trivia.
All right.
So maybe a trivia pursuit.
Trivial Pursuit.
Hmm.
A Trivial Pursuit. Yeah, that sounds good. On Viola Davis, she was in movies called Suicide Squad as I think she played.
It's on Netflix
It's on
and it's
Netflix.
something with
The
woman
Woman
in it.
King.
Yes, The
The
Woman
Woman
King.
King. Okay.
Yes, I have that in my queue and Netflix.
Nice. Awesome. I love it.
Yes.
Sweet. Okay. So that was the last question. And where can our superpreneurs find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram and it's at dr. Tiffany M. Smith. I have for your listeners a private podcast, which is a 21-day Love Thyself journey. And they
Nice.
can get that by texting self love as a compound word to 702 919 4249. And that's going to start that journey as far as listening to yourself, putting
Mm.
yourself first, getting to know yourself, just some of those foundational things that starts that journey. But you can also use it as a checking point as to where
Mm.
are you in your self-love
Yeah.
and your self-care. So Instagram, you can find me. I have that. And I'll be exposing you on those two platforms to everything else that I have going on. I have a lot of great things going on. I have
Love
a
it.
lifestyle program and an app. So more to come on that.
Nice. I love it. Thank you so much, Dr. Tiffany Smith. We'll be sure to include all of the links and the number for people to text to get access to that private podcast and to learn about who they are and how they can be better.
Yeah.
Thank you again for your time and energy and your wisdom on this episode. And we'll catch you in the next episode.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this episode on Hacks and Hobbies. We absolutely appreciate your contribution. You can find additional notes on hacksandhobbies.com. Please share the podcast with your friends and tell them what you learned about our guest today.